Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Uh-huh. Want some candy?
All I heard.
What is that?
What is it?
Oh, I know what it is. It's a werewolf.
It's a werewolf.
Oh my god. Not a
Oh
werewolf.
my god, it's a werewolf.
So there was a Monster Candy podcast that on Horror News. I told E about a new Marvel venture called Werewolf at Night. And he was like, And I was like, no, I think they're going noir. I think it's going to be cool. Like, I have faith. I love what Marvel has done. You can love or hate some of their movies, but they have found great directors and great actors for all their projects.
They have.
And fucking Disney is the shit. And they got
True.
money.
Whether
And
you
this
wanna
is
believe
going
it or
to
not.
be good. And you guys can go back on that episode and listen. He was like, I don't know. I mean,
It's gonna
Well,
be crap.
maybe it looks cool, but I don't know. I won't watch Doctor Strange. I won't watch this, even if Sam Raimi's involved.
What?
And I was like, you're gonna
Really?
watch this one. Yeah, he fucking
Well-
will watch that shit.
Dude,
He's
the
going
Sam
to
Raimi
now.
ones are the only ones I like. E.
I know. And
Well,
he's going to
hey.
now because now he just watched Werewolf at Night, and that
Hey.
is what we're doing.
That is what
Candy
we're
killers
doing, Candy
on
Killers.
this fucking episode.
That's right. Oubliette Sparks is back again with myself, Screaming E from the Memphis Murdermen, and Scarlett Rick from Down the
Woo.
Hatch Food Reviews. And yes, Oobzilla, the tsunami bomb keyboard extraordinaire,
At
did
times.
tell us about this movie. And that movie is Werewolf by Night.
That's
And we're doing it.
And
And
we
we're
are
doing it
doing
right.
it tonight.
it. Doing it.
But
Yeah,
first,
we're gonna write a song. We should write a song about
we should
this.
write a song
I
about
mean, I feel like we just did.
it, right? But
Uh,
first,
went
we're going to
90s
get into a
R&B.
little bit of yeah, a little bit of horror news because we're really excited about this movie. I'm going to start off with some horror news that I just
Do it.
happened to see.
Do
So
it right.
Fathom Events. We got to love Fathom Events. They be bringing back some movies.
Sure.
So they are going to be bringing back the 2002 Godzilla against Mechagodzilla movie. And it's going to be showing in 450 theaters nationwide. So that will be cool. And when is this going to be happening? Doesn't seem to be a date yet, but be on the lookout for that. I mean, that'd be rad. Old, new, it's a monster movie, so I'm down for it. So yeah,
Mhm.
check
I
that
have
out.
some
Check out
weird
for updates
horror
on
news.
bloodydisgusting.com.
I have horror news that we missed.
Yes.
It's from August.
Whoa.
What?
I mean, late August, but this would have been like right up my alley. I don't know how it didn't. It just came up. So do you guys hear
Right up
about
your
like
alley.
Monster Mania in New Jersey and Gary Busey?
What?
No.
I did not hear
Yeah,
about that.
me neither. But it just came up in my feed,
That's crazy.
even though it's old. So Gary Busey was like the guest of honor at Monster Mania in New Jersey, and right now he is facing multiple charges of sexual assault. Apparently, several women have come forward that got photo ops with him and said that he was like touching things he shouldn't touch.
Oh goddamn! The
It's funny 'cause I'm
the
sitting
abuse is
here-
loose.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, I feel like
the
I've
abuse
heard
has
this
always been
before.
loose.
But then I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, it's probably just because I just assumed that this should have already been talked about.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, the Busey's up
The
there with the
Buseys
news,
did
you
this.
know? So it's not like
the Busey is juicy.
surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, his poor
well,
son.
Oh, that's a good one. That's nice.
yeah, I guess, I mean, that's
But,
like real life horror news.
But yeah, so I have that, and then like in other remake, because apparently we just need a sub news category for like the
Seriously.
remakes I find out about. Um, so they're remaking Takashi Miike's Audition, which why the fuck would you do that again?
'Cause you
Like,
need
there's
to.
no reason.
Because everyone's out of fucking ideas at this point.
Is it gonna be like,
Right, but like why? I mean, that movie
yeah, again, you don't
was
have
one
to do
of
that.
those movies that kind of changed things in horror when it came out. Like, why would you even?
Yeah.
There's no need to remake it. It was great, and we don't need like an American version.
Because
Like,
somebody
that's what
wants
they're doing,
money.
but
That's why.
because people can't. So, and then also Arachnophobia.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We're remaking Arachnophobia.
I just read about this
Yeah.
too.
And also in horror comedy, Anaconda.
Nah.
Both
We were
movies.
just talking about that
Why
movie.
would you?
My guy's never seen it. He like wasn't here when it came out. He was still in England. And like we just did a framed like
yeah.
this game online, and he was like, I didn't get it because I've never seen it. I'm like, you've never seen Anaconda?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so silly. It's awesome, but like,
It's
why? Why
Yeah, it's something
remake
you
it?
don't
And
need
if-
to remake.
No, they don't need
Yeah,
to
because-
remake a snake regurgitating a whole man. Come on.
Right.
No.
And winks at you.
It's comedy gold.
Yeah,
And if you're going
absolutely.
to make a movie about a scary giant snake, just call it something else. That's
Spell
the
it
shit
scary
that pisses
giant
me off
snake.
even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Call it Angry Noodle. Or whatever. But like,
Yeah, but not that.
just,
Dude,
just
everyone
don't.
everyone
I mean,
sucks.
there's so many. They're
Everyone
making
just
the
sucks.
remaking The Howling too, and Sleepaway Camp and Battle Royale.
Jesus Christ. Again?
Let's just throw it all out
Battle
there.
Royale's been like redone a million different times with different names.
Yeah.
They're some of them are. I don't hate them.
Right, right.
I like gore for gore. I mean, but
Right.
yeah.
Yep. Another good one. They're making remaking The Lost Boys.
No, yeah. Well, are they actually
But
doing
they've
the
already
movie?
talked about
Are
how
they
they're
doing
going to
all men?
redo. Well, they're going to redo a lot of it because they felt like Stars, like sex pot kind of sex scene stuff was not great for women. So they're going to make it more of a women empowering
But then,
sort of
didn't they
thing.
start to do didn't the WB do
Which
like
really kills me because
It
like
was
I don't know if you
fine.
guys know.
I loved
but,
Star.
yeah.
Well, no, I did too. And I don't know if you guys know. I know everybody gets upset about everything now, but when women use sex for things, they're actually in charge.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm really sorry if that hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't because like most of the time you get what you need out of it. But like in that sort of situation, if you've watched The Lost Boys, in no way was she a victim.
She was amazing. Like she was like
But-
the like. Oh my god, I love
Or-
I mean, I guess she was a victim of David before she was
or
with
it's just
Michael,
life.
but, like,
I
or
mean, there's
whatever,
victims.
but
Like,
It's true.
right.
it's fucking
And in
life,
art,
man.
You can
It's
show
true.
that,
It
but
happens.
Like, Jesus
but
Christ.
I'm just really tired of people
Wanting to
taking
sanitize
characters
every
like
goddamn
that
thing.
and
Yeah.
being like, "Oh, this poor girl," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? She got to bang a bunch of hot dudes."
It's
And
true.
she seemed
And she's a
like
fucking vampire. That's what they
Yeah.
do.
fine.
Vampires are like
Literally, that's all they do
Yeah.
is kill and have sex.
sex. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Right. So like,
100%.
Get over it.
what's the problem?
Yeah.
Now,
Some
the
of them are
weird
into it.
fucking
Some of them
kid
are.
in the like carnival suit, like with the mullet, like that kid was abused.
Yeah. But I mean, some of them are into it and some of them are like,
But who's
fuck,
sticking up for him? No one. No one's sticking up for him.
laddie. Yeah. But I mean, whatever. Fucking
Yeah.
everyone sucks. Oh, November
That's all I
3rd.
got. I just wanted to anger everybody about remakes.
Yeah, you did. November
Well,
3rd is National Godzilla Day.
Effective.
So that's when it's going to come out. One day only.
Oh.
So November 3rd.
Well,
Keep an eye out.
Godzilla's part of family for me, so that's good.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a direct
Good
descendant.
one.
Oh yeah. What
That's
what
tight.
say you, Scarlett Rick?
I ain't got nothing.
No,
Ain't got
you ain't got
shit.
nothing. You're
No.
like, fuck this horror news. It's
No,
gonna be about a
that's
remake
not
and I'm gonna
true.
be pissed off.
No,
What?
that's not true. I saw you went to fucking the Oogie Boogie Bash like twice.
Oh yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you know what though? You know what's a pisser about
Yeah.
that?
See, you just got
So
hyped
it
up
did. Okay,
now.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Damn it,
There
I
you
did.
go.
So okay, yeah.
Ooh,
Actually, it
bait,
goes with
bait.
it.
You took
Does.
it.
It
Reeling
goes
it in.
with our with what we're doing today. So I just
Mhm.
recently went to Boogie Bash, and I was really expecting to see the werewolf. They have the werewolf on top of Avengers Campus. He walks back and forth, and sometimes you get to see him walk through and up, and which is the videos are so fucking rad.
Right.
But I looked, he wasn't there. I looked again, he wasn't there. I asked somebody, they said, "Oh,
What?
unfortunately, the werewolf doesn't come out for Boogie Bash." And I just went, "So
So
he
when
comes
does
out
he come out?
at night, every other night, but he didn't come out for that Boogie Bash." And I was like, "Oh, I was pissed." Like I was really excited to see.
You know,
There was
that's
a
like some random like paperwork on someone's
totally,
desk that got
yeah,
missed and
yeah.
like
No, they were just like, "Oh, whoa,
and they
we
just
probably
ruined your
should have
time.
done that." Yeah, no, they totally did.
Mhm.
The only other cool thing that was there, it's not horror, but the prosthetics, like you get a chance to check it out, are insane. Ernesto de la Cruz, which was like the villain, quote unquote, in Coco.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Mhm.
he's the prosthetics
Oh,
on
I
this
saw the
like
video.
this skeleton are insane. And like when I saw it, I was like, there you go, Disney. You're doing it. And then yeah, but recently I'd seen the freaking werewolf and I was like, all I want to see is that.
That reminds me, I have a little bit more of horror news from
There you
Monster
go.
Palooza.
Ooh.
Speaking about masks and shit. So I posted a picture of this on Instagram. There was a guy, I think his name is, if you want to look him up on Instagram, it's a Monster Man underscore 37. They did all these masks, but he did the best looking Wolfman mask I've ever seen. Like this thing was super fucking legit. And the picture I took doesn't even do it justice. He's has better pictures on his Instagram. But I was asking him about it. I was like, dude, that's like the best one I've ever seen. What like what's the deal? And it's always there's a lot of good ones, but there's always something like a little wonky, whether it be the hair or the fucking something about the face just isn't right. But you know, they're all usually pretty good. He was telling me that I think he said his wife said he should do it, but so instead of sculpting the Wolfman, your mustache.
I know. I can't help it. You drink it sideways.
Water bottle mustache.
That's weird.
So he said instead of doing that, which probably a lot of people do, he actually sculpted Lon Chaney Jr.'s face first.
Interesting.
Wow.
And then went back to fabricate the Wolfman stuff on the already sculpt of Lon Chaney Jr.
That's rad.
And then did all that. I'm like, dude, that's probably why it looks so fucking good, because you got Lon Chaney's, face right, and then added the shit on top of it. So yeah, check him out at Monster Man 37. So yeah, well, no one else got anything for horror news?
No.
No, we're good. All right. Well, that's been all right. Now
I'm
we
so
get to talk
excited.
about
I'm so
Here.
excited.
the movie Julia told me about a while ago.
It, man.
And I'm kind of glad I did forget about it, because I went in with like a fresh
I mean,
fresh
all I
eyes.
told you was there was going to be noir and there was going to be hunters and somebody was going to be a beast.
You did. So do you want to read the little synopsis?
Synopsis?
Yeah.
Sure. Synopsis is very short.
Mm-hmm.
On a dark and somber night, in black and white, a secret cabal of monster hunters emerge from the shadows and gather at the Bloodstone Temple following the death of their leader. The attendees are thrust into a mysterious and deadly competition for a powerful relic. The relic's a fucking bloodstone. This
Right.
shit is cool as fuck.
It
so
is.
like
Hella
fuck this
cool.
synopsis. The real synopsis is there's this family. They own the bloodstone. The bloodstone's fucking crazy. They have all these like death dealers that like work in this secret society, and they just like kill crazy fucking
Superhero
monsters.
hitmen.
Yeah, and no one knows who they are usually. So the leader of this family that takes the bloodstone dies. So they invite all the death dealers to the house to do like this monster hunt to see who can get the bloodstone. So all the death dealers show up as well as the daughter who's estranged to get this fucking thing. And they have a monster. They attach the bloodstone to it. It weakens the monster, but it also makes the monster super fucking angry because it puts them in pain.
Right.
And that is the story.
All right. The director was what? Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's done stuff.
Really.
He's
good
Star Trek composer.
composer, dude.
Composer,
His
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
and Gael Garcia Bernal, which if you guys watch any like Mexican cinema,
mhm.
Y Tu Mama Tambien,
Abel.
like Amores Perros, like
Yeah.
he is.
Motorcycle Diaries.
Yeah, been in a lot of shit
Yeah.
too.
And Laura Donnelly, I mean, she got this part from The Nevers, and if you haven't watched
That was
The
a
Nevers,
good one.
dude,
Yeah.
it's such a good show, and she's
Really
fucking
liked it.
crazy. And not to get off topic, but Laura Donnelly and Gael Garcia Bernal, if they could be Gomez and Morticia Adams, I would be there for it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could see that.
That would be
Oh
fantastic.
my
see it.
God. That'd be like a porn. It'd be
Yeah.
so-
Ooh, we had splooshin everywhere
Yeah.
on these episodes lately.
Happening.
Sorry.
Last one was fucking talked about what's his name, Daniel Day-Lewis,
Oh, yeah,
mega
we did
sploosh.
mention
Well, that's a mega sploosh for anybody. If you're not mega
True.
splooshing to Daniel Day, you have a fucking problem.
You got something wrong.
You heard
Like,
it
are
here,
you
folks.
even human?
That's it.
No,
Yeah.
apparently
Are you
not,
real?
according to you. Yeah. So you did tell us about this, and I forgot about it, and I watched it and went into it fresh, and
Thinking it was gonna suck.
no,
Don't
I
even
saw,
lie. Don't even fucking lie.
No.
Oh my God. When I first talked about it, you were like,
but
"Ugh,
I still
Marvel.
didn't even understand. I
Ugh."
still didn't remember when I watched it that you said it. You just sent the thing like Werewolf by Night. I'm like, oh, cool. Like I completely blocked our whole conversation out about it. I had no idea what it was. So
I
when
don't
you
believe
I
You
swear
see
to
this
God,
eyebrow right here. This is
I
the
swear to God.
eyebrow of I don't believe you.
I had no idea.
Okay.
And then I saw some other people talking about it online, like, oh, it's in black and white. I'm like, oh, rad. Okay, well, okay.
Oh,
I'll go
so when I
I'll
tell you
check
you
it
don't
out.
give a fuck, but then online people are like, oh, it's black.
Well,
and
because
white.
online
Mhm.
they were saying, I forget who posted something about it, but they just made it sound like just a straight up a horror movie. Whereas when we discussed it, we discussed, the fucking comic book superhero stuff about it. And I was like, so yeah. Anyway, I checked it out. And let me tell you.
Man thing. Oh, Ted.
Oh, Ted. Good old
So
Ted.
perfect.
Right. Horror
They did
directors,
so good.
you need to take
Watch
notes.
this fucking movie.
Absolutely.
If you're
Oh
going to
my
make a
God.
monster
100%.
movie,
That was
this is
it.
what you need to fucking watch.
That was it.
Like,
Dude,
even-
I mean,
Which is
for
super
black
cool.
and
Like
white, they did so many cool
Yeah.
things.
the director too is like a huge fan of like old like
Mhm.
monster movies and stuff like that. That's the reason why he was like, no, like I want to do that. Like that's
Well,
like
you could
I want to pay homage. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
let me do that. Yeah.
tell for
I
sure.
mean, 55
100%.
fucking minutes, and like you
It
felt
was
like you
fantastic.
knew every character.
Yeah.
And the ones you didn't know that much about, you hope they do another feature on. Like,
Yeah.
this is a perfect like origin
Yeah.
setup.
Yeah,
To
they've
like,
got a lot of
I
stuff to
hope
do.
they open up this universe more
Yeah.
because it was so good. Like you got it was crazy. Like
Yeah.
I
Well,
cannot believe how much they packed in 55 minutes.
Him, like Guillermo del Toro, you can tell they're really fans of monster movies because they set
Yeah.
things up properly. Like
Proper.
this was another one that's like it was better than a stage play, but it still had the same tempo
Totally.
and pace of like an old 50s monster movie, which were basically like stage
Yeah.
plays. It's,
Like you can't
Yeah.
have filler and crap. You only have a
Right.
certain amount of time.
and it was fucking awesome. I was like, holy shit. There was, instead of saying what I like about it, I'll start with my cons. And there was really only one. Is I have such a problem with
I'm like, you
fucking.
have a con?
I do. I have the big thumbs down with the design of the werewolf costume.
Really?
To me, he just looked
At
like he was in
first
an
I
ape suit.
did, but then I went back to the comics. And it's
Well,
yeah.
the Werewolf by Night.
But even if
comics.
you weren't going by that, I can see that. But I still thought he was like pretty.
I mean, it wasn't
They were trying to
terrible.
make it a person though.
Right.
Yeah,
But
like you
it
look
just,
Like
human.
if they went too far wolf with I know the exact frame that's pissing you off, and it's one after he turns and he's looking at the camera, and it looks like
well,
any
that,
monster.
but it's not even the face. Like,
It's like the
just
body.
the body looked like he was just wearing an
Mhm.
ape suit.
I know, but I think that was trying to be like in between werewolf and human. And
Well,
they were
I mean, you
trying
could
to
do that.
still
I mean,
show that
the
he
Monster
was fighting
Squad.
the change.
Yeah, but the Monster
Totally.
Squad probably had the best, aside from Lon Chaney's like man wolf. The Monster
Yeah.
Squad did it perfect, and I was just like,
That's true.
I mean, I'll agree with
Yeah.
you on it. Like when I
But,
saw
I
it
mean,
too, I was like, "What? That's
yeah.
not a werewolf. That's
Aside-
like Eddie
aside from
Munster
that,
with a fursuit."
that was like the only issue I had. I was like, oh, they could just made him a little, I don't know, jacked him up a little bit more. But like I said, I didn't know anything about the comic book, so he might look exactly like character in the
But
comic.
like
So
Marvel has done such a good job with like characters who don't necessarily speak. Like Groot is great
right,
if you've ever
Yeah,
watched
everybody
Guardians of the
loves Groot.
Galaxy. Like Man Thing just fucking squashed Groot into the ground.
Yeah.
Like they did so good with that. Like so good. And I had heard that Man Thing was going to be a part of it. I didn't know it was going to be the monster they were trying to like capture.
right,
And the second I saw him and the emotions and everything, like they did that so well.
It
yeah,
was rad.
yeah. I mean,
And
there's
then like Elsa's relationship with him at the end, like it seemed so natural. It was I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it
It's
had good acting. The black and white
Absolutely.
thing, like I still don't know why.
dude, the
Could-
soundtrack, it was like perfect.
Yeah, and the director did the score too and everything
Right.
as well, which
Right.
makes a lot of
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I was
Yep.
like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, dude, and even like the shadows,
Yeah, well,
they were
dude,
so
the
cool. Like
Dude,
reminded me of
the
like Sam Raimi.
Shadows.
the transformation, the
Yeah,
the shadow
that
animation,
was so cool.
Mhm.
super fucking rad.
Oh, in the
and
background when
yeah.
you're seeing her in the front with
Mhm.
then the like the prison bars and then the flash of the transformation.
all that stuff. I just don't
Then
understand.
when he
That's
jumps
right.
out and he's killing all those people and it has the ink
hmm
blood
Yeah.
like on the fucking
Yeah.
screen
On the
of
lens,
camera.
yeah, that was rad.
Yeah, like that's I mean, it's
Uh,
really hard to pay homage to like shit without seeming contrived, and this seemed very natural.
Well,
Yeah.
Sin City also black and
Yeah.
white. I mean, they had
Yeah.
like color in it and stuff like that. But I'm like, and then they went on to do what was the other one they did after that?
Well, they did two Sin City.
They did
They
Sin
yeah,
City.
but there was another one too that was like a graphic novel type thing. It wasn't a
Came out
Sin
like
City
black
one.
and white with
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah. And that's cool. But I'm like, why don't fucking like legit horror movies make stuff
Yeah.
like, film it in black and white? Because I started going back and watching a bunch of movies that are in color, horror movies like in
Mhm.
black and white. I'm like, dude, this is so fucking rad.
It's
Like
really cool.
sometimes it makes them better. This movie
totally.
right here should fucking just kick all the horror directors in the face.
Yeah.
And be like, make a black and white horror movie. It's fucking rad. If you want to add some color, like how
the
they
Red
did in
Stone. That
yeah,
was cool.
yeah. like how they did in that and the Tingler. Like if you want to make
Yeah.
something, add some color, add some red blood, make all the blood red, but everything else keep it fucking black, like Sin City did too. I'm like,
Oh,
but
dude,
man,
at the end when Somewhere Over the Rainbow played and
then
the
all the
color came on and the
That was
Right.
fantastic.
like it's so weird because like in theory you would think that application like if you were sitting at a table talking about it would be so like hokey and shitty,
Mhm.
but they did it in such a way that it was perfect. And then when they flashed to Man Thing and like the werewolf coming out of it and then that whole dynamic, it's like I can't believe in 55 minutes how much I fell in love with those three characters and want
Yeah.
to see them in so many more things.
Absolutely.
Like and especially because one's not even real. It's
Right.
like CGI.
Right.
But yet you felt their
Looks
dynamic
so
and their
cool.
love for each other, and you're like, yes, I just want to see them. Like they need a sitcom, they need a WandaVision. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I
Well,
need to see
well,
them.
I feel like that's what they're kind of setting it up for.
I think they are.
Oh, they fucking better because, like,
because it ended pretty
I mean-
abruptly, and you're like, wait,
yeah,
there's obviously more to this, and it's a fucking comic book, so there's more to
Yeah.
the story. But
oh, totally.
Well,
And
what-
just I feel like the dynamic between
Mhm.
them all, like they
Yeah.
would not be doing themselves any favors if they didn't explore that more.
well, dude, that's a fucking other thing. I'm like, in such a short amount of time, you got to know the characters, find out which ones you like,
oh, the
didn't like.
Viking guy? Or
Yeah,
the Irish,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Irish
Nordic,
guy.
Scotland. Yeah. That guy's awesome. All of them.
yeah. You got to know the characters. You got to get into the story, invested into the story, and you got the story explained. Whereas, dude, so much of these fucking other horror movies are just like story on top of story on top of
Yeah.
story, and you're like, it doesn't need any of this.
Yeah.
And that's why,
Oh, I
like, that's
know.
why,
Like, I wish they'd explore the monster hunters more too. Like, that
Oh,
would
yeah.
be
That'd be
I mean,
dope.
there's so
awesome.
much
But
you
what
could
was
fucking do
weird
with
is
it.
there was a Blade movie they were doing, and when this came out, they canceled it,
Canceled it.
which
yeah.
is funny because the guy in the movie looks a lot like
like he could be Blade.
Blade.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was wondering if maybe they were going to recast him and try to change the lore to where maybe Blade was a death dealer that became a vampire.
Yeah.
They didn't like necessarily cancel Blade, but they didn't
Postponed
go
it or
on with
whatever.
Put
that
it on hold.
actor.
Yeah.
Well, they had an actor for it and they dropped that.
Right.
So I
Right.
almost
Right.
wonder if they were like, maybe we could take this actor and kind of create. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, we'll see.
But
But
it
dude,
was the timing was weird.
this is why I like monster movies. Like, because this took what like all the old monster movies were fun. They might not have been necessarily scary
Yeah.
if you watch them now, but they were fun, like fun horror, And it I won't blame it all in the 80s or even like late 70s, but it got into this fucking thing where it's like, okay, every horror movie has to be this like super gory and it has to be actually scary. And you're like, well, I guess, but you can make monster movies, Godzilla movies.
Hounds of
fucking-
Baskerville was terrifying, and you never saw a thing.
Right, right. There's ways to do it, and especially if
Implied
you're gonna,
horror sometimes is more scary than seeing like fucking
Yeah.
a heart get ripped
yeah,
out.
totally. But I mean, if you're gonna make like a monster movie or a superhero movie, like make it fun. Like that's the fun's got to be a big part of it. You can have blood and gore and all that shit, but dude, let's have fun with this shit. That's why I like the Meg so much because it's just kind of silly, a little over dramatic, but fun. And there's a giant fucking shark that eats shit. You're
Pretty
like,
good.
So, what was funny about this is it was actually supposed to be in color, but they didn't want to get a TV mature rating.
Mhm.
right.
So they, went
So
black
they
and white.
thought if they put it in black and white, the gore wouldn't seem as gory.
It's
And
true.
I think, and then from that, they went like, okay, now
Yeah.
that we're going to do black and white, let's go more noir.
It's so
But
awesome.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
it
funny
was
that
rad.
that was like the first thing, and there was actually a fight about it because Man Thing is like Swamp Thingy,
Right.
like super green and crazy and red eyes, and they were like,
All
no, we don't
Cthulhu
want to.
looking.
They were like, if we won't go to black and white, no one's gonna watch. Like, it's not gonna resonate with current audiences. No one's gonna like it, and like
But it
then that made me
does.
really push for it, and it does.
Dude,
It's so
this-
good. Like, I haven't talked to a single person who hasn't liked this.
Yeah, I was gonna say
good.
rating wise, like this was like I
Yeah.
think their second to top one, and it's only a 55-minute movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like that's saying something. That's why like I was stoked. Like I watched a couple interviews with the director, and he's like, yeah, he's like I just wanted to make a monster movie, and hope I get to make more. And it's like, yeah, buddy,
Yes,
I hope you
you
do
should.
too, because like he said too, he's like he doesn't want to go away from like doing scores and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, you shouldn't. Like that was also fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, you did a
Yeah.
fantastic
It
job.
was so good.
Yeah.
And did you guys catch the cigarette burn mark?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Me
And
too.
then I
I,
started
like,
watching
yelled.
to see if
I
I
was like,
would see
"Cigarette
it
burn."
again, but it wasn't. It was only
No,
one.
it's just the one time. Yeah.
But I was so happy I caught it. I'm like, I
Yeah,
was
me
paying
too.
enough attention. I caught it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Well, dude, the Universal's Dark Universe should, because all that went to shit and they just
Yeah.
stopped doing everything.
Oh
Like
God.
this is
And DC's.
yeah, get this guy to fucking remake Frankenstein or Dracula.
Yeah, absolutely.
What
They
was
might now.
the DC one with Superman? It wasn't awful, but the kid
Um,
Superman, the horror movie.
I didn't.
oh,
Oh, I
Brightburn.
didn't. Oh, yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
watch
Brightburn
that.
was good. Yeah, I
Was
like
it
that.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
I'll have to check it out.
so people gave it so much shit, it was good
What? Yeah.
for what
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was. But because it didn't perform well, they like ditched their DC Dark line.
They're all
Yeah.
nope.
You should check
But
it out.
with
Scarlett.
cartoons, they went mature with like Harley Quinn and all that, which are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother
Peacemaker,
told me
but,
Brightburn was good. I just haven't watched it
Yeah.
yet. I'll have to check it out.
It was,
Yeah.
but they had a whole thing that they're going to do more. But now, like Marvel, the next Marvel series that's coming out is actually going to be TV mature, and that's the Marvel Zombies.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's gonna
And
be
they're
sick.
supposed to bring some of
Yeah.
this into it.
Yeah, so they did. Was it last year for Boogie Bash or whatever that was? They actually had a zombie Captain America, and they brought him back one time
Mhm.
this year. And like the makeup on that, I was like, oh, dude, like that's so dope. Like, please, like, can you just do real makeup if you do it? Like, I know
That'd
it's
be
probably gonna
rad.
be a CGI, but that would be so cool because like the makeup on him was so fucking good. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. You know you can do it. Let's do it. Like,
Well, you obviously can. That
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that practical. I mean, maybe, but practical makeup and prosthetics like that is any way. I guess maybe I wouldn't even say more time consuming, but like
Yeah.
CGI, like dude, all that shit takes forever and it's so expensive now.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like-
that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
That's why I like how things are going back. So what's
Yeah.
funny is
cool.
Elsa Bloodstone.
Mm-hmm.
So Joss Whedon based Buffy the Vampire Slayer off of Elsa Bloodstone.
Huh.
And then it's funny because that actress's character in The Nevers is Joss
yeah.
Whedon's latest project.
Well, look at
Kinda
that.
funny how it comes full circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well-
by the way, if you watch Nevers, when the season finale starts, you're gonna think that you started the wrong show.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like, wait,
Did you
what?
have that too? My husband
Yeah.
and I were like,
no, I did. We were
what
like,
the
we're
fuck?
watching
Because
the
we
right
watch on
movie.
Plex. We watch kind of shows illegally. So we were watching it and we're like, oh, somebody downloaded the wrong shit. And I was like, oh, Joss Whedon,
You're all no, no, no.
you
This is
didn't
it.
stop your bullshit. You just wanted to keep doing it. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Well,
I
don't know.
haven't gotten completely canceled yet. Everyone's like,
does anyone ever really
so
though?
mad at him all the time.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought that I was pleasantly surprised with this movie.
Me too.
And it's
Oh,
like
it's
it
so
sucks
good.
though, because it's like when you see someone that gets it right, even though this was like, like a superhero comic book movie,
Yeah.
when you see someone that knows what they're doing as far as like monster movies and horror, and you're like, God damn it, you should have done these fucking 5 movies. You know what I mean? Like if he did the remake of the Wolfman, the Benicio del Toro
Yeah.
one,
That would have
Which-
been good.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, that one sucked, but it looked cool. Like it looked good. That was actually a
Visually,
pretty
it was
good
great.
Wolfman, but and then it got weird with fucking Anthony Hopkins as Wolf Dad and all. I don't know. It just got weird. But if that guy did it black and white, and just banged it out in fucking an hour and 20 minutes, like I'd have been like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope he does more horror movies.
That I'm hoping for.
Like he's someone I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
go remake that. Yes, dude, you
Yeah.
go remake
Go ahead,
that.
do that, please.
Yeah. Get Rob Zombie out of here and Jordan
Yeah.
Peele doing fucking shit.
But the one kind of thing
Yeah.
about this is the werewolf man thing were members of the original Legion of Monsters. And you know who else was in Legion of Monsters?
Who?
Ghost Rider
Oh yeah.
and
Nicolas Cage. Oh,
No.
and Morbius.
yeah.
So you
Yes.
could
No, but
potentially-
those are two like the worst ones, so they won't do that.
Well, Ghost
Or
Rider is
they'll
cool.
recast
But-
them.
Yeah,
But-
they
but-
recast Ghost Rider.
But at the same
Have to.
time, what if they
Morbius,
brought it
too.
in and brought Jared Leto and Nicolas Cage
Oh
in
my God.
for
I'd
a
be
movie with
pissed.
them? I don't know, but listen.
I mean, it
hear
would be
me out.
ridiculous if that happened.
It would either be the worst thing ever, or it could be potentially. I mean, they're both method actors, and if you went black and white, I don't know.
Maybe
they could pull
maybe
it
it
out
could
their
be better.
ass.
You're right. Very well.
I mean, I deep in my heart feel like it would be a shit show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a spirited lady, and
Yeah.
give people the benefit of the doubt. I think
I don't know, man.
somehow, I mean, sometimes when you like smear shit in your hand and throw it in the air, it comes back and like
Looks
More
like
shit.
shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
mean-
say like truffles or cake or something
Yeah, I guess.
delicious.
I,
I don't know.
I mean, Nicolas Cage just did such a bad Ghost Rider.
It was
Like he did,
terrible.
he did.
I actually never. I didn't watch it, but
I walked out of
believe
that
it.
movie theater.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
don't-
movie.
Only
That was a
mo-
movie I left.
Only movie I ever walked out of was Ryan Reynolds in the Buried Alive movie. Buried, I think it might have been called Buried. He's buried in a
Oh, I
coffin.
never watched that.
Oh yeah, right.
It was
yeah.
fantastic.
I never
Cast
saw
in
it, but
Austin.
I didn't.
It was like at a horror convention thing, and
You're all
I was
about.
like, I can't. It's literally an hour and a half of him buried in a coffin with his phone dying, and he decides to call his ex-wife that's mad at him when he has 1% left, so she screams at him and his phone dies. And then I walked out. I'm like, I can't.
I
Like,
think
that's
that's
the one call you make with 1% left. Like,
It was
why would
on
you do that? You
TV.
know she's gonna yell.
Yeah, it was on TV, and I think that's like the only part I watched of it. I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and watch the rest of
And
this
I feel
movie.
like there's a tarantula or something poisonous in there with him.
It's
It was
something.
like
I don't know.
It was something. It was just
Yeah.
so fucking. It was. I don't even know.
Wasn't
I
this
didn't waste
movie
my
though?
time.
And he's
No.
like Canadian and happy and funny. Like, why? Why?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they did a bang up job on this, and
They absolutely
It was
did.
so good. I mean, everything, even like the overhead shots of like, I don't want to say it was a labyrinth, but you know what I mean? Like
you're right.
It was rad. Like
Yeah.
the
everything.
decor
Yeah.
in the building in each
Dude.
room. I was like, dude, like this is crazy.
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
how is
No,
this
like-
that good? Like I was really surprised. I was like, dang, okay, this is
well, especially because it was like a period piece too, and you're like,
Yeah.
why is this guy directing a fucking comic book movie? Why is this more like a monster movie than so many monster movies that have
found
been
us
made
in.
lately? You know,
Well, the crazy thing too is like he was one of the things I read. Like he had said like that he had spent so much time with different actors, or I mean with different directors that
Mhm.
do like horror. Like he spent time with Sam Raimi. when
Right.
He was doing the score because he did the score for the Spider-Man and
Mhm.
for Doctor Strange, and like
Mm.
he did it. I think he was also like J.J. Abrams and like just different people. So he was like, yeah, I've just kind of talked to them about stuff and I've just loved it and been around it. And you're just kind of like, you just absorbed
right?
like things and then put your ideas with them. And like,
Yeah.
congratulations, sir. You
Well, he did it right.
did it
Dude,
fantastic.
he did.
Yeah.
So this was actually filmed like fully digital in color. I'm
Mhm.
curious as if they'll
Yeah.
ever release it, and I hope they don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it won't be as good.
No.
And listeners, like if you're thinking I'm crazy, you know you've taken pictures of yourself and been like, and then put them in black and white and been like, I
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
Like I look good in
Absolutely.
black
Let
and
me
white.
get this filter, this black and white filter. There we go. Well,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
it makes things more dramatic a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
In that noir kind of vibe too, especially if it's like a horror movie or like a monster movie in particular.
No,
Dude,
but
that
they
adds
fully
so much
admit
more.
that they applied like basically a blanket black and white filter with like a retro like spotty thing.
Yeah.
Like they didn't make the filters for it. They said they just like
It's
put a generic one on. And I think
Right.
it's fucking great. And it
Like
looks
I
really
said,
good.
like I watch all these color movies now, and I'm like, I'm gonna turn the color off. I'm like, dude, this is better. I like it better. So I don't know. I think they nailed it. He nailed it. and they should do more. Let's rate this
Dude,
bastard.
if I don't see Gale in this character again, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
He was good. He was good.
Well,
was
no, like
fantastic.
I mean, he's such an amazing actor too, but like
Mhm.
just the whole tone, like his empathy, like the sweetness, yet also
Yeah.
being crazy, like it was good. I loved like the makeup, the glowing makeup they
Mhm.
did on him. They never
Mhm.
really like thoroughly explained like just some of the artistic things they used to make the black and white a little bit different were
Mhm.
so
It
smart.
was rad.
Yeah, the little
Because it
little
wasn't
subtle things.
well, because yeah, because it wasn't just black and white. Like the bloodstone was always red. Like
Right.
there were certain things, like Man Thing, sometimes his eyes
Hmm.
were
Were red
colored
too,
too
yeah.
in parts. Hmm.
Yeah. There's
Like it
little
was
things you could do
very
like that
smart.
for a black and white movie that'll be like, dude, that's fucking rad. So,
Yeah, and none of it seemed contrived. Like it was all
mm-mm.
really natural.
Yeah.
Nothing seemed showboaty or like over the top or like parts where you're like too much. Like it
Yeah.
seemed
Well, I mean, this is one of the movies where it was like, oh, wait, that's it?
Yeah. I was like,
Like,
damn.
you could add
no
another
same.
20, 30 minutes on it and be like, okay.
Dude,
But I'm
this
sure
could
they
have
have a
been a
plan for that.
3 hour long movie. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like it was just that good. And it gave you all the feels. Like you connected with like
Yeah.
each of them in different ways.
Yeah. All right. I'll go first since Scarlett went first the last time. Or you know what? Oubliette, you go
Oh.
first. You go first, Oobs.
So this one's getting the highest of anything I've rated since we started this, and it is a solid 4.5.
Oh, god damn. I mean, it was pretty good. So I get it.
It was great. Like
Yeah.
this, everyone should take notes, like you said. Horror movie directors, like, I mean, this should be, I hope professors are showing this in class for film students, being like, this is how you recreate a classic without
Yeah.
seeming like it's contrived, and how to make a classic modern, and how to tell a great story, and how to do character building in 55 fucking minutes.
Boom.
There are movies that
Um,
are 3 hours that I don't feel any connection to a character or know about them, and they didn't even give backstories of most
Yeah.
of these characters,
Yeah.
but yet we feel like we've known them forever.
Yep. I agree. What
So-
say you, Scarlett?
I give it a 5, dude.
Oh,
that was like,
god
yeah.
damn.
Fuck
that
yeah.
was- I stopped when I got off that.
I
like,
almost went
as soon as
there,
it was
but I wasn't
done.
sure.
Yeah, I was like done with it, and I was like, this is great. And then like even just watching the credits, I'm like, damn, this is still so great. Like I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is and I gotta say, like, I'm a total nerd when it comes to like music score, like movie scores.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a fan of this dude like for
Same.
a very long time. So yeah, I was just like, hell yes, yes. Like it was.
Dude,
oh yeah,
the
no, I loved
score
it.
when she's in the cage with him after he smells her, and then she just sits there and is like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
There is this like, it's very, very light with these strings. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
They
Yeah,
did a lot.
yeah.
They did a lot of shit well.
the suspense stuff, like
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
yeah, it was tight.
Well, again, that brought it back to like the old school fucking 50s B movies.
Yeah.
Where they have the fucking kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say hokey music, but it kind of it's like exciting,
Yeah,
you know? Ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Like,
and
oh,
you knew
shit, yeah.
something was happening.
Well,
Yeah.
and none of it is shock factor. That's what I love
Right,
about
right.
this too. Even when shit was about to happen, they didn't do that like woo, like or the dun, 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 like the
Right,
really
right.
hard hits. It was
Mhm.
It
like
was just happening when it was happening.
very subtle building and like nice.
Yep.
Like
Well,
the whole movie felt comfortable, which is
Yeah.
weird for a horror film, but
no,
it just felt,
I agree
it
with
felt
that for sure.
natural.
I agree. And then now I'm gonna throw a wet blanket on this whole fucking thing and all the
Of
scores
course you are.
and give it
Don't fucking do it, E. Just come on.
Aw.
1.7. No,
Shut the
kidding.
fuck
I'm
up,
kidding.
you
I'm
are.
giving it a solid 3 black and white candy corns. I thought this was like as solid of a fucking like newer movie that you can do. And since it's more of like a
3?
crossover. Yeah.
You
Yeah, because it's
gave X more than that.
but I'm not a huge fan of superhero movies per
Are you
se
mad that this is
lately.
probably
It's
going to go
not
more
a
into a superhero
superhero
movie?
movie.
Then?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
a comic, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I
There's
get
horror
it.
comics.
Yeah, I get it. But
It's just with Marvel.
yeah.
You are being biased right now, and
I'm
that's
not.
bullshit. You
Not,
can't
I'm
be
just
biased when
that's
you rate a
that's
single film.
that's one of the things I'm like, if it was because I wish it was just a straight horror movie. So I'm like, okay. Like I didn't really love the characters. I liked them and they were cool, but they just wasn't.
You were so close to getting kicked off this podcast. We're
She's just
not
trying to
rating comic
cause
books.
controversy. It's a 3
No, I'm
oubliette.
not.
It was a great movie, but I don't give a fuck about these characters that much, is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
I get it.
So I can't be like, this is
He
fucking
wishes it was
amazing.
just
Yeah.
just the werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, I'm like, I mean, it's a cool concept, is like, or whatever, but I wouldn't really care about it as much if there wasn't like a werewolf in it. If it was another movie, it was just about random fucking superheroes, I'd be like, I don't care. But the werewolf was cool, and he did it. He shot it
There
the
were
way
no superheroes in this movie.
they were all superheroes.
No, they aren't.
Werewolves don't know fucking karate and parkour, oubliette. They don't. They eviscerate people by fucking mauling them. He was doing backflips and shit off the walls. That's a
Have you ever
superhero.
watched Underworld?
And they're terrible.
I hate those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to win anything over. If you're comparing it to that,
I'm just saying.
bad
Lycans
comparison,
can do
oubliette.
whatever.
You just fucked up.
I'm just saying, no.
You fucked up.
Werewolves.
They don't know
werewolves can do
parkour
whatever. I'm sorry.
and
So
karate.
Cape,
And that,
perhaps as a human, he was a gymnast.
I don't give a fuck. When you're a
He's a
werewolf, you
monster
just
hunter.
yeah.
It doesn't mean
That's where it is.
It's
Mom
an
and Dad are
anti-hero.
fighting.
Mom and Dad are fighting. They're
By the
superheroes.
way,
They're superheroes.
anti-hero.
Superheroes.
No.
God damn it, they're superheroes.
He doesn't have a fucking cape. There is no cape. There's no booties. There's no metallic outfit. You don't know what the fuck.
No booties. There is no booties.
No underoos.
What you were talking about.
This is not a superhero movie.
You don't. You're just
I
fucking
do.
wrong. You were wrong.
It's
And
a comic.
yes.
It's not. This is
Listen,
not a horror
listen,
comic necessarily.
Monsters can turn into heroes if they want to, but they are not superheroes.
This
They're
is
just
superhero shit.
anti-heroes. I'm about to Google it. Is Werewolf by Night a superhero?
It's probably
Fairness
going to
could tell you
yes.
you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It's kind of a superhero.
It's not a
By Night
superhero, but it's a Marvel
is
movie.
Yeah,
superhero.
Well, it was funny because like one of my friends, the friend I went to,
Ugh.
yeah, it does
See?
say
Superhero
superhero.
movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night, real name Jacob Russoff, legally
He's a
changed to
superhero.
Jack Russell, also known as Werewolf, is a fictional character and superhero.
Yeah, it's even like my
Oh.
friend that I went to Boogie Bash with. She hates she hates Marvel, like hasn't watched anything. And I told her about this, and she like looked it up, and she was like, "I'll watch that."
Yeah,
And she watched it, and she was like, "That was cool. I just wish it wasn't Marvel."
yeah.
She's
I
like,
mean,
I wish
it's,
it wasn't in. Yeah, and I was
yeah,
like,
it's
I
good
get it.
crossover, and I like
Yeah.
I'll watch if they do another one. I'll watch it. You know what I mean? But I was just like, I had to stop myself because that was one of the things initially. I was like,
Oh,
man, fucking one of the things I didn't like about it was he fucking knows karate and he's parkouring it all over in the fight scene. Werewolves don't do that shit, but I was like, but
He
it's
was not freestyle walking and parkouring.
he was bouncing off the walls and everywhere. But I was like, it is like a
He's a
superhero
fucking
movie.
werewolf.
They don't do that shit yet.
I mean, they're like dogs, right? They just
Yeah,
jump
Really?
around.
yeah,
Climb?
Yeah.
Do they climb?
They're super muscly.
yeah. But they don't flip
So
and
a
karate
dog
kick.
can jump? No. Listen, fucker.
They don't karate
A
kick.
dog, a regular
They
dog.
don't know karate.
Jump
You're not. I'm
4
cutting you off.
times their height.
We're not arguing this anymore.
But my
Kung
dog
Fu
can't do
is not-
backflips.
Yeah. Werewolves
Really?
can't do
'Cause
backflips
I have
or
a
no
cut on
kung
my
fu.
lip from my chihuahua punching me today. That's real. There's
Yeah.
blood.
But yeah, so
you think they can't, but
they
can't.
can't. They cannot do it.
I have scratches on my back. He kicks me every night.
Wow,
Karate
you should,
kick.
You should fight him.
Backflip?
This
No,
is a werewolf.
he did not backflip.
Okay.
But he probably could. If I offered him cheese, I could teach him to. No
Yeah.
problem.
Well, this is probably one of my more favorite superhero movies, but
It's not a
It's really-
fucking. He's not a superhero yet. It's just starting.
he is.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know, King
three-
Kong is also rated as a superhero.
He shouldn't be. And you
Well,
know,
he is in the latest movie.
well, either way, whether you want to accept the fact that it's a superhero movie or not, this is a movie we think everyone should
I
watch.
actually don't care because I
Everybody
like
should watch it.
superheroes.
I like them too. I like comic book movies, but I like mutants and shit. You know, X-Men,
Fuck yeah. We're
stuff
fine.
like that. Like more
So
traditional.
actually, now that you say that, so this was the first like Marvel special feature that's
Yeah.
55 minutes.
Mhm.
So the next ones are on each of the X-Men, leading up to the X-Men movie,
Is he
Within
going to
these
do
that are
it?
pretty
the
good.
Avenger movie
No,
with the
probably.
X-Men in it.
Damn it. Well, he should do it.
He
I
might
don't
do
trust
it.
anyone.
So they're doing like they said 5 to 8 hour-long X-Men movies. They're all going to be origin stories on each of them. And actually, I think this guy's signed up for 1 or 2 of them.
That's cool.
I
They
mean,
should
if it
have
could,
Sam Raimi do one too.
yeah, if they could be,
I'm sure he will. He's doing. I
Be
think
hella
he's doing
fun.
the Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I was stoked to hear about. I was like, hopefully that stays.
So and that's like TV mature. Like they just
yeah,
got the
that's
rating
they're
on
gonna
it.
have
and-
to. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this did so well, they decided they're gonna do the origins and all the X-Men. And because I know the next Avenger movie
I'm
has
still-
the X-Men, but they're gonna do an X-Men movie before that.
I'm still waiting for a good X-Men movie.
Honestly, like this group and this franchise and the money
I think they'll
backing
bring
it
it.
now, I think, yep, they haven't disappointed, and I've watched, I think, all of them, and a lot of these characters I don't like, but I appreciate every single one I've seen.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think
Like they've done a
casting.
really good job wrapping the stories around and doing it just like the comics and like.
If they can make these origin stories, and they have to cast them right too, they have to get good actors and
But I
cast them
think they
properly.
will. I'm telling you, like
And
they've done
well,
a good
if
job.
if they could do it like this movie, then yeah, I'll be all up for it. But I don't know. They should have done that movie in the 80s because they had the perfect people to do it back then. I mean, Schwarzenegger would have been a perfect Colossus.
That would've been
Fucking-
tight.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you could have Mickey Rourke could have been a fucking amazing Wolverine if you would have like fucking done him up like he was in Sin City.
I feel like
That'd
he's
be
too
Yeah.
tall.
sick. Yeah.
I mean, he's like my height. He's
Just
short.
Mickey Rourke just looks tall and
Yeah. I mean, now
Right.
you don't want him because he's fucking weird, but you know, he's no
He
fucking
was always
you-
weird.
Hugh Jackman is like 6'3". he's like
No,
twice
he
the
isn't.
size. Hugh Jackman? Yeah. He's like 6'2", I think.
I think he's pretty tall.
Yeah. And jacked up on roids for Wolverine. But anyway,
Mickey Rourke is 5'11".
well, 5'11" online, so he's probably more like 5'9".
Oh, Hugh Jackman is tall. I always thought he was
He's
a little
hella
tiny
tall.
baby.
Yeah,
Mhm. He is one tall man.
Well, they did good in those movies, making him look like
Smaller.
ripped and short.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he's jacked up on fucking steroids that he keeps denying, but he was juiced to the fucking gills.
I mean, who cares?
Oh,
If had
I
to
don't.
jack up like that.
I'm
I
just
would
saying.
roid out too.
I mean, you have to just admit it. But yeah,
Unless
hopefully,
you're Alexander Skarsgård, you're just
yeah, he's always looked pretty natural. You know, he's just a tall drink of water.
yeah, it's that Viking heritage. You just-
It is. It is. Yummy. Yummy. Skarsgårds. So on that note, we're gonna end this episode of Monster Candy Podcast, and we'd like to thank Scarlett Rick for coming out and hanging out with us
Yeah.
again.
That's it. Yeah.
I'd like to thank you
No
people for
problem.
listening. And yeah, so we all think
if
you
you're
should go
still
out.
listening,
Oh yeah. Oh,
20
don't worry.
minutes after we rated this.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely think you should go see this movie if you haven't already. We didn't spoil it really at all. So go check it out.
I have come here to
that'll do it for this episode of Monster Candy Podcast, everybody.
All
Yep.
out of bubble
And thank you for ruining the
Hello,
score.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
It's still like
I
a
hear you
4,
looking for candy, man,
4.2.
bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Uh-huh.
Want some candy?
Groovy.
You ever dance with the dead by the pale moonlight? We don't have to be mean.
Yeah, Jack Burton just looks that big old storm right square in the eye and he says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
You're gonna need a bigger boat. Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Want some candy?